Welcome to the EOB Podcast, where we talk about the weekend box office and the new openings this week. I'm Ben No. So for this week's podcast, we're going to have a short one because Sen is not with us today. So let's jump right in. So last week, we have kind of two new releases over the weekend. One is called Tulip Fever and another one called Close Encounter of the Third Kind. And those movies, they're not that wide at all. So as you can expect, they didn't pop up in the top 10. So how about we jump right in to the movies that did pop up in the top 10. Coming in number 1 is the Hitman's Bodyguard. It repeated as the number 1 movie for 3 weekends in a row because of the week lineup that we have going on running up to the Labor Day holiday. Because Labor Day is pretty weak, as we know historically, because people are usually traveling or just not just traveling or visiting family or just wanted to have some time to do their own stuff, and it's not really a big movie going weekend or holiday, as you can see by the box office, right? Hitman's Bodyguard hit number 1 with a 10.5 million take over 3 days. We're going by the 3-day figure, and the domestic gross right now is 55 million. So the top movie for 3 weeks in a row, and it only grossed 55 million domestically. So that just tells you how weak this tail end of the summer box office is. So 10.5 million, and it's probably gonna stay there just for this week. 3 weeks in a row, Hitman's Bodyguard. But then it's probably gonna be overtaken by some of the new releases that's coming out this week. Okay, number 2 is Annabelle Creation. It was number 2 the past weekend, and now again it's still number 2. Pulled in 7.5 million. Domestic gross is 89 million. Let's see what the worldwide take for this is. Worldwide take is 258 million, and the budget is only 15. So the Annabelle spin-off of The Conjuring is doing extremely well. And we can expect more Annabelle movies coming along. All right, number 3 is Wind River. It pulled in about 6.2 million over the weekend. In its 5th weekend already, it pulled in 18 million domestically. It grossed 18 million domestically about. This is a limited release. It started off in a couple of theaters, then it kept on expanding, adding more theaters, and it's now pop up to number 3. Let's see. The movie stars Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen, and Olsen plays an FBI agent who's sent out to an Alaskan town to solve a murder case or a series of murder cases, and Renner is a local who's there to help her out, and there is things going on in that town. The town has secrets. So that's Wind River. Number 4 is Leap. It put in about 4.9 million over the weekend. It's the animation that's released by Weinstein Company. After 2 weeks, it grossed 11 million. So this is a movie that I said would work better as a live-action teen movie, romance movie. The worldwide gross is 96 million. So it's playing better overseas than here. As I said, if you're into animation, your niche is probably children or the general audience, and this one is about kind of like teens or people who are kind of on the cusp of teendom, teenhood, or whatever, however you describe it. Coming of age, pretty much, right? Following your dreams, and I think with this angle, it would work better as a live action. But hey, it's an animation Weinstein Company acquired, I think probably for cheap, and they probably make money on this one because this is a really past couple of weeks, and hey, they found an opportunity to release something like this and already grossed 11 million here. All right, number 5 is the Steven Soderbergh action movie Logan Lucky. It pulled in about 4.5 million, and after 3 weekends it grossed about 21 million, 22 million. So, and the budget is 29 million. So all in all, this is the movie that I kind of expected to gross. It's about where I had it, even though this movie is by Steven Soderbergh. It stars Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Riley Cole, Hilary Swank, Seth MacFarlane, on and on and on. Daniel Craig. Have I mentioned Daniel Craig? Yeah, he's in it. So lots of big stars, but this is a Steven Soderbergh indie movie. And like his indie movies, that's what the box office gross is about. It's about where I had a movie to open to, right? I think I had the movie opening up in the 8 to 10 million range, right? But it opened to about 7 million or 7.6 million, so it's about right there, right? And people blame the advertising or lack thereof for this movie's poor performance, but I doubt it. I say no. It's a typical Steven Soderbergh movie, indie movie. That's what its trajectory is. All right, number 6 is the Christopher Nolan war movie Dunkirk. It put in about 4.4 million over the weekend. Domestic gross is 179 million. Budget 100 million, and the worldwide take right now is 461 movies. So, doing pretty good for Christopher Nolan war movie, and it's well reviewed as well with a tomato meter of 93%. So critically and commercially, it's doing well. Christopher Nolan, he has attained the status of like a James Cameron. Anything he touches will pretty much kind of guarantee, not it's guaranteed, but kind of be up there in the box office take. All right, number 7 is Spider-Man Homecoming. It put in about 3.7 million over the weekend. Right now, domestic gross is 324 million. Worldwide is at 747 million. So, the budget is 175 million. So, yeah, continues to hold up well. It's already in its 9th weekend already. So, continue pulling there, even though the box office take is starting to dwindle. All right, number 8 is Despicable Me. It put in 3, actually. Despicable Me 3, it put in about 2.5 million over the weekend. Domestic gross is 258 million. Budget is 80. And the worldwide take is 997. So, it's getting to 1 billion. So even though domestically domestically it is the 3rd highest grossing movie, right? We're counting Minions, right? If we're just talking about the Despicable Me movie, it's still below Despicable Me 2, and it won't reach it. Despicable Me 2 grossed 368 million domestically, and Despicable Me grossed 258 million. So it won't catch up to Despicable Me 2's number domestically, but worldwide it's actually there. It actually surpasses Despicable Me, and it's below the Minions. It probably won't catch the Minions, or maybe it will. I heard that it's doing extremely well in China and elsewhere. So the Minions across is 1.1 billion, and this one is getting there. So we'll see how much it can make in the overseas market. Let's see. Yeah, in China it already grossed 158 million. Wow. So yeah, doing extremely well in China. I'm not sure you'll reach Despicable Me. The Minions number one, but it's pretty close. It's there, 1 and 2. So it's not a bad place to be. Okay, let's see. Number 9 is the Emoji Movie, another animation. It's released by Sony. Pulled in 2.4 million over the weekend. With going by the 3-day figure. Domestic gross right now is 80 million, but hey, the budget's only 50 million, and the worldwide take is 160 million. So it's doing okay. Like I said, no one asked for an Emoji Movie. But they created one, and as long as they keep the budget cheap, these animations can make money for the studio. And of course, it's all about the merchandising when it comes to animation, and the Emoji Movie seems to be like kind of a minor hit. All right, rounding out the top 10 is Girls Trip. This movie continues to perform. Pulled in about 2.3 million. Domestic gross is 111 million. The budget's only 19 million. So hey, pretty good. And let's see, and I guess out of the movies released last weekend, the biggest surprise is Close Encounter of the Third Kind. It's the 40th anniversary re-release. I thought the movie would probably put in about 100K or so, but it surprised me. It actually put in about 1.7 or 1.8 million over the weekend, and that's the highest of the new releases. And that came in number 13, by the way. And let's see, Tulip Fever. That movie we didn't have high hopes about. That movie was created long ago, but they're just getting it released right now, and it's by the Weinstein Company as well. The movie opened at number 24, it pulled in about 1.1 million over the weekend, and I believe that's where we had the movie, right? Let's see, Tulip Fever, I said about 1 million, Sense at 1 to 2 million, so it's just right there, this movie. That's it for the top 10. I promise it's going to be a short one, and it is. How about we move on to the new releases? We have two. We have It, the movie that's based on Stephen King's book, and then Home Again, a Reese Witherspoon rom-com. How about we start off with It? It's the horror movie that's based on Stephen King's book. This is the first of a two-parter. This movie is gonna be focusing on the children's side, and then I think the second movie is gonna be focused on the adults when they're grown up. And it's about Killer Clown, an alien life form that is asleep in a small town somewhere, and every couple hundred years or so it wakes up and feed on the people, and if you don't know about it, it projects the fear, whatever people fears the most. Then it could project these images to these people, and then lure them in to the sewer, down to the sewer, or a cave that's connected to the sewer, and eats them. And these kids who I guess the first movie will be focused on kind of band together and fight them off, right? And then many years later, right, they went back to finish the job. There was a TV series, a mini-series many years ago with Tim Curry as the title character, the clown. And this one, it's in the movie, it's played by who? I think it's. Let me take a look. In this one, the clown, Pennywise, called Pennywise, is played by, Bill Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård. Okay, he's played by Bill Skarsgård. All right. So anyway, this movie is projected to, I guess, according to some reports, projected to open in the 60 million range, but I think it's going to be actually lower than that. I think the box office has not recovered yet, as of yet, because we're just off the Labor Day weekend, and I'm not sure if it will bring the people back because school's going on. I think people are still in these late summer doldrums, and it's still going to be a high opening though, right? It's going to be a high opening, but I don't know if it's going to be in the 60 million range, the opening for it. I think it's probably going to be a bit lower than that. It's going to be in the 50 to 55 million range, and we'll see. And let's see if there are any reviews for this yet. No reviews yet. So they're keeping a embargo on this movie. I guess we're gonna see the reviews in a couple days. Then we'll know, right? So my projection for it is gonna be probably in the 50 to 55 million range, since it is based on a popular Stephen King's novel. But then again, having Stephen King's name on it or basing your project movie on his books doesn't guarantee a big box office, just like The Dark Tower. That was also based on a Stephen King novel, and that didn't do that well at the box office. But it's kind of sort of a known quantity, and for the late summer, fall, early fall, it's good for horror movies kind of come to the forefront, and those movies, genre movies, usually do well. It just depends on the budget. We don't know the budget for it, so it doesn't star a lot of well-known people, so most of it's going to be in special effects, so I think it's going to do okay. Okay, let's move on to the Reese Witherspoon rom-com called Home Again. So she plays this recently divorced mom, I guess, and she kind of rented her room out to these 3 young filmmakers, I believe, and then she fell for one of them. Okay. It's produced by Nancy Meyers. She is pretty well known in the rom-com circles, Nancy Meyers. It also stars Cadence Bergen, Lake Bell, Nat Wolff, Michael Sheen. Witherspoon, she usually normally plays the the single female, right? But now she's getting up there in age, so now she's playing a kid, and she fell in love with a younger man, and then her ex-husband came back and tried to reconcile with her. But then again, if his rival, it's living there with her as well, and a younger one at that. So that's where all the comedy is. Just to give you an idea, her last movie, Hot Pursuit, opened to 14 million and went on to gross 34 million domestically. Her 2012 rom-com, This Means War, opened to around 17. So you can see that her movies kind of open to it's gonna be within that range. So Home Again, the reviews are not good. It's 29% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, and but so I think the movie's gonna probably open into the 10 to 15 million range for this one. So yeah, that's it. I guess the big movie is gonna be it, but how high is it gonna open to? Projections going up to as high as 60 million plus, right? But I think it's gonna be lower than that, 50 to 55 million, because I believe the box office has not recovered. The audience have not recovered. There's a lot of stuff going on. There are, there's the hurricane going on. Hurricane Harvey in Houston, and its recovery effort. And there is the Hurricane Irma that's coming along as well. Hurricane, I think, is a Category 5 and coming along the Florida coast. So there's a lot of that. And then there is the political aspect of that. With Trump ending the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, who allows children of illegal immigrants or children who got brought here in the U.S. by their parents and allow them to stay and work and go to school. Trump is ending that, but with a 6-month delay in implementation. So that's going to do a number on the box office as well. So we're not going to get into that much politics here. There's a lot of things that influences the box office this weekend, and it's not just the movies themselves. There's a lot of acts of God, for example. Hurricanes are coming along. Hurricane Irma is the new worry. They're still cleaning up from Hurricane Harvey, and then there's this, the DACA program that's been added. So there's a lot of shakeups going on. Okay, that's it for this week's podcast. I believe we're still in the tail end of the summer doldrums, so I don't think the box office is going to recover that much, but I think it's going to bring this back with a 50 to 55 million opening, and Home Again 10 to 15 million, which is within the Reese Witherspoon rom-com range. Okay, that's it for now. Hopefully we'll have some next week. See you.